Market Hong Kong, please stand up and put your hands together. Coming to the stage one last time, Vice President of Sales, Mr. Jim Winkle.
Good morning, almost afternoon. How is everybody? Great. Boy, I tell you, I am going to miss Hong Kong. We leave tomorrow, and it's sad. This weather the last couple days has been beautiful to see everything. Boy, do I love it here. So thanks for having me in. And my way of appreciating it is I'm going to give you everything I have in this next segment and try to really bring home some good things to help us grow. Does that sound fair? Yeah. All right. I'm going to start off talking about follow-up. And it's one of my favorite topics, and I want to tell you why. Because when people do the basic five, I always see this happen. They do attitude and knowledge. They do retailing. They do recruiting and goals. And then they run out of time as they get close to the follow-up, or they do 10 minutes on it, and then they don't get to do any more, when it's probably as important or more important than any of the five steps we have in the basic five. So we're going to spend a little time on it this morning to make sure we're all doing it right, because that's really where the fortune is. There's three kinds of follow-up that we need to think about. One is follow-up with customers, one is follow-up with prospects, and the third one is follow-up with business partners so that we create that duplication. Because remember, everything about growth in our business is duplication. It all has to be duplicatable. So let's talk about customers. And I know we've trained on some different things throughout the weekend. I just want to hit some high-level points, make sure we're all doing it. Make sure you follow up with a customer when they receive their products. I was talking to a group a couple days ago, and I told them how bad I was when I started this business. And my first business plan I ever showed, took 3 hours. So the person didn't get started, but I did sell a product, which was great. But what I did that was bad is I never followed up. A year later, the lady called me and said, "Hey, I want 4 more bottles of thermochrome." A year later. And I said, "Well, why do you need it now?" And she said, "Because I just started taking it. I love it. And I just sold 3 of the nurses where I work at bottles of thermochrome. So I need 4, 1 for me and 3 for the people." Now, if I had followed up with her after a month or after a day or after a week, I probably could have had that going on the whole time, but I didn't. So now you learn from your mistakes, follow up right away. When someone gets the product, it's amazing how many people buy it and don't even start taking it, to tell you the truth. Then follow up a week or 2 later. Do they like the products? Are they taking it correctly? Then follow up towards the end of a product life cycle, meaning if it's a 30-day, a 60-day, a 90-day, whatever it may be, when are you going to follow up with that? And as you guys have, as Mark talked about, is going to talk about with Shop Buddy, that'll be something you'll definitely want to make sure you get customers to download as that comes to our market here. Shop Buddy will get you more sales on shop.com than especially through our IBV, through our partner stores, than anything else you do. So as you get that, take the time, make sure the customers have downloaded Shop Buddy. I take notes on all my customers. So I use Outlook. You could actually use our unfranchised back office where you have your customer account, but I keep track of them. And something I learned a long time ago was don't just keep track of the sales, like what you sold them. Keep track of their personal information. In this case, this happens to be one of my friend's mothers. So when they were I had down when their anniversary was. So that I could call them or send them a card on that date. I know when she was taking a trip to go visit her son. So when I talked to her again, I could ask her, how was the trip? So while I'm talking to her on the phone and she's ordering a product, I'm taking notes on what she's telling me. So the next conversation we have, I can open it up with something. And all it shows is that you take time to care about somebody. So I would highly recommend with all your customers, Take time to jot some things down about them. And if you don't know anything about them, and they're only buying one product, you're probably not going to have that customer that long, to be honest. Because our goal is not to have a one product customer, it's to have a customer who orders 4, 5, 6 things from us. The more products they order, the more important we become to that person. So you're always adding on. You can see here where I sent samples of some of our products, Turn Down, digestive enzymes, and daily essentials. I sent her some samples, I sent her information, and I sent her an isotonic cup because I wanted to make sure she always has a cup to be able to drink those supplements with. Here's another example. Every time we develop a new customer, we send them an email right after they've ordered. Let them know we're excited. Lisa and I will be their managers. If there's any questions, please give us a call. We offer them a 10% discount on their next order right away because I want them to start thinking about buying other products while they do that. Let them know not to hesitate to contact us with any concerns. But we're putting follow-up on these customers right away. Now, here's what happened. Years ago, I was an okay retailer. As we upgraded what we did following up with customers, we retail about $800 a week now. I would say that's a pretty solid retailer for doing that. And do it just like I'm showing you right now by continuing to have follow-up with our customers. So that's a simple thing, a simple way to do customers. Let's talk about prospects now, and we touched on some of this yesterday. But point of contact to point of contact, what does that mean? Point of contact to point of contact means when I talk to somebody, if I call up Anthony, when I call Anthony and we book appointment, when I get together with him, I'm booking the next appointment. If I'm following up, I'm booking the next appointment. It means point of time you talk to the person to the next time you talk to the person. It is much easier to book an appointment when I'm with somebody or on the phone with somebody than it is to try to reach them again. That gets to be really, really hard. So point of contact to point of contact. When we show the plan, I think it's important we do a couple things, and I want to talk about that because this is follow-up with a prospect. Whenever I show it, I ask people to rate themselves when I'm done. I say, look, I just want to know how I should work with you from this point forward. On a scale of 1, 2, or 3, with 1 being the least interested, 3 being the most interested, how would you rank yourself? And you can see it says interested in trying products, interested but confused, how do I get more information? 3, I've seen enough, I'm ready to get started. If somebody says to me, I'm a 1, that means they're not interested in the business at all. I say that's great. Because again, I don't want to make them feel bad. I promised them it was information only. But one of the questions I am going to ask them is, do they know other people who they think might have an interest? And my next question is going to be, which of the products that I went through would you be interested in? Now, I'll tell you what I do. Anyone who sits down to look at me for the plan, I automatically will offer them a 10% discount on one order of products. Because if they took 45 minutes to an hour to sit with me, I think it's fair to give them a little discount on that first order if they try it. I always try to move products whenever I show the plan. I think that is vital. Whether they're not interested in the business, or ready to get started, I want to get a product in their hand right away. And I think this is missing from us a lot today. See, when a lot of us started the business years ago, you couldn't register someone as a customer. The only way they became a customer was how? If they bought a product. That was the only way. Today, people go out, they show the plan, they register them as a customer, do it right from your phone. It's easy, it's simple. And the people don't buy anything. And we feel like we did a good job. I'm excited, I got a customer today. Well, I don't know about you guys. In the business world, a customer is somebody who does what? Buys something. So if you get a customer who's never bought anything, did you really get a customer? I would say no. Would you guys agree with me? So, and some of you are smiling. I'm looking at your faces because you're thinking, boy, I've been out there. I'm like, I got 10 new customers. I'll be like, I didn't do anything either because none of them purchased anything. I'm going to move BV products. So I'm going to give them some options on that. Now, sometimes people say I'm a 2 out of 3. I'm interested but confused. How do I get more information? What information would you have more interest in? Do you want to learn more about the products, the business, the company, how to make money? What I know they're telling me right now is I need to take another step. So when they're saying they need to take another step, my answer is going to be right back to them. I'm going to say, Ted, I agree with you completely as you're evaluating the business. I think one of the things you should do is I think you should try a product, because there's no way anyone would ever buy a business, a restaurant, any kind of business without trying the product. Would you agree? So by doing that, while they're evaluating it for the week, the 2 weeks, however long it takes, I am moving a product to them. Now, how many of you love our products? How many of you love our products? Right? We got, world-class, life-changing products. So here's what I know. If I get somebody on one of our products, I have a better chance of them becoming a business partner if they're evaluating the business. Now, if someone's not interested in trying one of the products, but they're telling me they're interested in the business, I have to tell you they're probably really not interested in the business. They're just trying to nicely say, make it sound like they're going to continue this process, and then they'll cancel on me later. So I'm going to try to move them a product. I'm also going to try to move them a ticket. If someone's interested, man, I want to get a ticket in their hand. And I'll tell them, it costs less to buy a ticket to the next event than it does to start the business. If you are still evaluating or have any ideas, why not buy a ticket, come as a guest, evaluate it, and then we can make a decision after that. And I let them know, I say, how many companies invite guests to come to their trainings ahead of time to look at it? I said, we're one of the only ones I know of, and you know why we do it? Because we're proud of the way we train, we're proud of what we have, and we're proud of our company. So again, I'm instilling in them my belief in what I have as I'm talking to that guest. Third thing, I've seen enough. They say, I'm ready to get started. I say, great. A lot of times I'll joke around. I'll say, great, I knew you were really smart when we sat down. Let's set an appointment to register your business, and I'll email you all the information, because there's some details I want to still go through with them. Sometimes I'll do it right then. If I have time, I may start to go through some of the details right there. What I will not do is set an appointment to register somebody who does not know they're going to have things like auto ship, does not know about UFMS. I want to make sure they know a few of the things they need to build the business correctly before I'm going to start them in the business. And when you schedule any of these follow-up appointments, I said this yesterday, if a meeting's booked, it is a successful plan. It's a successful meeting. So you just have to know, what am I booking into as my next step? Like if I had a guest here today, I would know immediately what I'm moving them to next. And that would either be to get started, which if you're a guest, I just make the decision. If you're here 2 days, that should lock it down for you, I got to tell you. If it doesn't, then I would book it into the next thing. I'd schedule, you have to continue until they get started or they're interested. So again, people say, how long do you follow up? Following up is not hard. I had a guy I followed up on for 10 years. But here's how the conversation always went. It was, hey, Dean, he lived in California, I lived in Wisconsin. I called him up and say, Dean, I know we've been talking about you wanting to get started in the business at some point in the future. Is this a good time to talk further? We would talk for a little while. He'd tell me, no, I'm crazy with my business. Things are going nuts. I can't do it. And I'd say, can I call you back in 6 months? We follow each other on social media. We stay in a little bit of contact. I'd call him in 6 months. So I'm taking 15 minutes every 6 months to follow up with him. And basically, he'd say, no, it's not the right time. Well, it was funny. Last time I was out in California to do a district, I called him up, said, I'm coming out to speak in California, wondering if we could get together. He said, I would love to. I said, you would? He said, yeah. Got together with him. We went through everything one more time. He said, great, let's get started. I said, what changed? And he said, what changed is it's my timing. And for 10 years, you never made our friendship about whether I did the business or not. You were my friend either way, and you just kept following up on a regular basis. So that's really what it comes down to. Keep urgency on follow-up, as we talked about. If it's to answer questions, again, I'm hitting this twice because I think it's important. Answer questions. Get to their people. Get them to lead you to people. Sell products, sell tickets. If it's to get started, sell tickets. That's belief. Book the registration date. Help them qualify their top 10 possibilities, both lists that we talked about yesterday. And that next step could be another one-on-one. It can be home business. It can be online meetings. It can be UBPs. It can be to an event that's coming up. All those are great steps. And when we go through those, we confirm what we're doing. Again, remember, how do we confirm? We leave them a message. I'm excited to see you tomorrow. Not I'm confirming we're meeting, but I'm excited to see you. I send them the correct links. I identify power profiles that will match with them. I schedule a 3-way call with a senior partner. I use our tools. You've probably heard this before, but if you don't use the tools, then you are the tool. And if you're the tool, you can never move fast enough in the business. Biggest problem I'll ever see with people who are good at the business but never seem to grow fast enough is they think they're too good. They think they're too important. And if they think they're too important, they don't use the tools to do the work for them. I want things that a 10-year-old could send out to somebody and they would be interested. Sometimes people call me up and they'll say, hey, I've got this vice president I'm trying to recruit. Could you help me with it? And I said, I can, but if I help you with it, then you're teaching them they have to have a vice president to find a vice president. I would rather teach them, send a tool, the correct tool, have them look at it, whether it's a video, whether it's one of our links, have them look at it, then have a 3-way call rather than me doing all the work that you won't be able to duplicate again. If you do it this way, we can duplicate it. So all the things on here are duplicatable tools. Then setting up a high-level skill person to close the prospect and move them forward. I'll tell you what, this is the most underutilized thing we have in the business. We do a great presentation, we meet with somebody, we go through the material, and then we don't take the time to put that person on with one of their senior partners. You know, if Candy were my senior partner, I'll tell you what I would do. I would meet with somebody, I would talk with somebody, and then I'd say, I've got a senior partner I would love for you to talk to. We can spend 5 to 10 minutes. I've already told them about you. They're excited to talk to you. You can ask them any questions. They can give you an overview of what they've done, and we'll keep it really simple, but you'll get to know another teammate. Now, when I get the high-level person on, someone who can do it, that high-level person knows how to book them into the next appointment. They know how to talk to them about trying a product or having another meeting. So my high-level person is doing the work for me, and I'm sitting on the phone, if I'm a newer person, listening. And as I'm listening, what am I doing? I'm learning. So I'm having someone who's teaching and training, and they're just taking 5 to 10 minutes. Some nights, Lisa and I will book off 2 hours for our organization, and we will sit at home, and we'll send a message out, and we'll say, here's the times we have available. Just send it to us and tell us. How long do we need to be on the phone? And give us a bio on the person. And we'll do 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes. We'll meet with 6, 7 different people on the phone in 2 hours. We've never left our house. Yet we've impacted 7 people in our organization by training them, and we've impacted 7 guests by talking to them. Does this make sense to everybody? So use your team to be able to do that. How do you create urgency? You want to know the best way to create urgency with a prospect? The absolute best. Recruit somebody else. It is funny how this works. People say, well, I've got somebody sitting on the fence. They're not sure if they want to get started or not. They're thinking about it. Any of you ever had people think about it? Does that drive you crazy after a while? You're like, what? There's nothing to think about. You know, low risk, high reward here. But you can't really say that to them. You can think it. So I keep it real simple. I go out and I keep recruiting. And by continuing to recruit, I can say to James, you know, I talked to you a couple weeks ago. I know you were excited, but you wanted to think about it a little bit more. I have got this go-getter, Vicky, coming into the business. I'm bringing her in 2 days. Now, because I talked to you first, I'm going to give you the opportunity to come in before I register her in the business. I'm still sponsoring her, but she'll be part of your organization. If you're not ready, that's great. No problem. I just wanted to give you that opportunity ahead of time. So what am I doing? If James doesn't want to get started, then I know he's not on the fence. He just never wanted to really tell me no. But I am people will do more when they're scared of losing something, like having Vicky in their organization, than they will for their own gain, which is absolutely crazy, but it's how it works. So if you want to create urgency, keep prospecting. Here's what you don't do. And I see people do this. Sometimes they find one or two people they're talking to, and that's all they ever talk about. Oh, they talk to them day after day, day after day. Oh, they're the best, day after day. For 4 weeks, that's all they talk about. I would rather talk to 8 more people during that period of time and then go back to them and say, are you ready or not? How many people have prospects who end up in the prospect protection plan? Do you know what that is? That's like where they disappear. They don't call you anymore. They're gone. A lot of times what happens, it's because of what you're saying to them, the way you are saying it, not what you are saying. What I mean by that was some of the dialogue we went through yesterday. Sometimes it's we let too much time go by. Again, not having that sense of urgency. But if someone's not returning phone calls, I'm going to give you something I call 3 strikes and out. I'm a big believer. I want to be in control of the process. I'm the one who I don't want to feel bad if somebody says no to me. I'd rather say no to them if they're sort of waiting too long on this and not going after it. So there's a process, a way you do that. I call it 3 strikes and out. So if I call up Joanne, or Joanne and I go to a UBP, and she is excited, man. She's like, this is for me. I see the differences. I love it. And then I call her the next day. When I call her the next day, she doesn't return my phone call right away. It goes to her voicemail. I'll say, hey, Joanne, it's Jim. I know you really enjoyed last night. Give me a call when you get this. We need to schedule a time to get together. I'll answer a few more questions. And you said you want to get started. We'll talk about what we need to do with that. So I leave my message for her. She doesn't call me for a couple more days. Has this happened to anyone ever? Someone's excited, then all of a sudden you can't reach them? So now I've waited a couple more days. I give her a call back. Hey, Joanne, it's Jim. So this is my second phone call. Hey, Joanne, it's Jim. Just leaving you a message. I know you're really excited on Tuesday. I left a message on Wednesday. Maybe you didn't get it. Give me a call back so we can schedule something to get together. Now, if she does not call me back again, I'll wait about 7 more days. So now I'm 10 days out. I'm going to give her a third call. My third call is going to be, hey, Joanne, it's Jim. I know you were excited on Tuesday when we got together. Obviously, something happened after that, and you're not interested now. I've left you a couple messages, but the way I run my business is I don't chase after people and I don't beg people to do it. I actually do more of an interview process. And based on the fact that you haven't called back, I'm assuming you have no interest at all. Don't feel bad if we run into each other. Say hi, you're still my friend, but from a business perspective, I don't think this is a good time for us to look at partnering together. So I'm very professional, I'm very nice, but I'm letting her know I'm saying no. Because here's what I know. If she hasn't called me back after 3 phone calls, even if she comes in the business, she's going to be a horrible business partner. She's going to be the one who, when their Form 1000 is due and you're calling them, never returns your phone call, right? So I'm not going to worry about it. Lisa loves when I do these calls because I'll tell you what happens about 8 out of 10 times. I hang up the phone, and within 5 minutes, I get a call back. And the call back is, I'm really sorry, I got busy, I had this go. Because when you take something away from people and you're not begging, they want it more. So what we're doing on this is but again, I'm really leery of that person who didn't call me, even if they want to do the business more because of the background with it. All right, so we talked about follow-up with prospects. Let's talk about new partners, because this is an area where we can drop the ball. We work so hard. We bring somebody into the business. Those who have been around for a while, we actually know that the work is not recruiting. Recruiting is easy. Prospecting is easy. What's hard is when you bring people into the business, you have to do the work to help them become successful. So we get excited. There's my family. They're so excited when we sponsor somebody. But here's what happens a lot of times. We don't set them up correctly. So I took this, actually working with Elizabeth Weber. She had put this together. I loved it. And it's basically an email that I send out to somebody before the registration. If it was Vicki, it would go to Vicki and it would say, congratulations on taking the next step for registering your business. Please make sure you read through this email and have everything prepared at the time of your registration. This is to confirm. So I'm going to confirm the date and time we're doing it. So she has that for sure. I'm going to attach the electronic getting started guide so I know that she has that. If it's a fast start kit she's coming with, I'm going to attach a fast start flyer to that so she knows that. I'm going to attach one of the bio sheets so that she can put together her top 10 prospects for me in those 2 lists that I have. The next part of it says, education is a must for building your business. If you haven't already purchased your tickets, you should plan on purchasing them at the time of registration. So if Vicki hasn't got her ticket to the leadership school, if she hasn't got her ticket to the next local seminar, I'm going to have those tickets with me, but she now knows it, and I've written down the dates of what those will be. I also let her know at the time of registration she's going to get her own shop.com site. So let's think of what name, Vicki, you want to have for that. We're excited to begin working with you, and I'll see you at the top, Jim Winkler. Now, if you sent this to everyone you were bringing into the business, do you think they would have a better idea of what they're sitting down to do when you do it? It would be quicker. It would be smoother. They'd be prepared better. So just a simple way to send that through. I'm going to have my ticket with me at that time. And I tell you what, if I'm bringing anybody into this market, into this business, I am not bringing them in without this ticket in their hand. I want them, unless there's some incredible reason they can't make it, that should be the number one thing you're really working to move to them. 6 months from now, get them to the leadership school. We talked about this a little bit yesterday, but the commitment has to come from you. When I look at this room, and I said this when we had a leaders meeting, I got to tell you, I think Hong Kong is poised for an explosion. You guys are positioned so well with great leadership, great corporate staff, people who can afford to do the business the right way and really go after it. But that key has to come from all of us saying, you know what? I'm not walking out of here without my 3 tickets. Because if everybody walked out of here with their 3 tickets, we don't even have an arena big enough for the next event to hold it. And to me, that's only 3. I know some of you are going to walk out with 10 if you haven't already. So you want to make that commitment because you want them in your hands, because we've spent a lot of time on how to recruit and sponsor and prospect during these 2 days. The Getting Started Guide is our roadmap. And now I told you I was going to talk a little bit more on this today. And I want to go through that. Dennis and I use this a little different than a lot of people. And I don't care which way you use it. I do care that you use it because it's duplicatable. Again, it's a tool that can be used anywhere across the world. I was working with a group on a Moving Up seminar, and great group, young. I mean, these guys are doing great at the age of 27. Some of them making $10,000 US a month. But they had hit a roadblock where they weren't growing any further. And we sat down and we were evaluating, okay, what are you missing? And what they were missing is their team was starting to get older and people were moving away from their main hub of where they lived. And they weren't using the Getting Started Guide, so when people moved away, they had no way to make sure they were doing the business the correct way. And we corrected that, and they're back on track in a big way. The way I use this, if I was starting Anthony in the business, before I go on the computer to do the registration on the computer, I'm going to do the first couple pages of this book. Why? Because at that point, I'm still in control. When someone, it's funny how someone, once they register as a new partner, it's like they feel like they know everything about the business and they're going to do it their way. Before I've let them register, I'm still in control of it. And if you look at this, the first section says, I will. I will commit to this 12-month proven business plan. Anthony, One of the things I ask everybody I work with is to give me a 12-month commitment. If at the end of a year you're not happy with how it's going, you can quit on that day and I'll help you do it. But it's not 2 to 3 months, it's not 4 to 5. Can you give me a 12-month commitment? And he says yes, and I say, great, check that off, Anthony. Then it goes, can you commit 8 to 15 hours per week? And we'll talk about where can we use those hours? When can we do those hours? Purchase a ticket to the next scheduled global meeting, training, and seminar system. So I'll have those tickets with me. You've already done that, Anthony. Great, we're all set up. Because I attached the tickets to the Getting Started guide because I know he needs that education. Implement the shopping annuity and convert spending into earning. One of the things we're going to want to do, Anthony, right away with every new person is take them through the assessment. I'm going to have a home shopping list as well. I'm going to say we're going to convert over as much as we can. I know we talked about starting you with a fast start kit, but my suggestion would be to add on some of the other items as well that you already use in your home, and let's add a few things so we're converting that. If we can't do it right away, let's make that your next order we get ready to do. So I'm getting them in the mindset of converting everything over as fast as he can. We might do a quick I'm going to tell them we're going to do a review on the Master on Franchise Owner. I'm not going to do it with them right there. I'm going to let them know we will do that. That's a program I want you following, Anthony, as well as a program called our Shopping Market America Master Member. You guys know what I'm talking about, or Sam. Shopping and lost my mind there for a minute. And listen to a minimum of 2 audios each week, and I'll pick some for them right off the bat to be able to do that. So great, boom, we're through section 1. Section 1 is commitment. He's committed to me. What's section 2? Section 2 goes through booking trainings. When are we going to do the NUOT? When are we going to do the Basic 5? When will we do the ECCT? And I got to tell you, I teach my team to do the ECCT as fast as they can. I want you to get the NUOT, B5, and ECCT as fast as you can. Some people will teach, well, they don't need to do it till they're about ready to earn a check. And to me, you know what that is? That's a negative mindset. That's saying it's probably going to take you a while, so don't worry about it. I'd rather say we need to get it done as fast as we can, because then you've completed the 3 company trainings, and you will have more knowledge to be able to grow faster by doing that right away. The next thing is I let them know, if you bring on a new partner, I want you to go back to the trainings with your new partner. So we're having some discussion about it so that they're learning on a regular basis. But we're putting dates in. You know, people get frustrated when they start a business and no one teaches them what to do right away. So we now are helping fill in their calendar with things they're going to be doing. We're telling them what's important, including the UBPs. And with UBPs, I let people know this night, we need to block this off the next 10 weeks on your calendar. That's going to be your night to work. That's going to be when we're meeting with people, we're going to be booking people into that. I'm giving some of the same philosophy I talked to you guys about yesterday to them during this registration. It's also got the names list. We've got their top 10. If they haven't given it to me already, I'm going to take the time to get it from them right there. Then it goes through and it talks about booking a home meeting, booking a call workshop, booking a product presentation. I like to book product presentations as fast as possible, even if it's 3, 4, 5 people. Why? Because I want to get them moving and using products right away. And I know when I get somebody to look at the products, sometimes they have a spouse or somebody else there who becomes positive about the business who may not have been positive before doing that. So now I've got their commitment, I've got their training, and I've got an action plan to get them customers and to help them get some new business partners as fast as we can. I believe you have a window with new people. And by a window, I mean if you don't do anything for 3 months with them, if you don't get them going at all, if you don't get them to training, if you don't give them the support, those 3 months they already start trying to figure out, they already start thinking about how they're going to leave the business. Because all of a sudden, what happens? What happens on the 3rd month? Auto ship comes. They have no customers, and you haven't gotten them to training, and they haven't done. And then you know what they say? This business is costing me what? Money. It's costing me. If anyone's ever said that to you, that means you did not set them up correctly. Now, if you don't want to do and I stop right there with the new person, then we're ready to do the registration. Sometimes people say to me, what happens if they say I can only work 5 hours a week? I say, fantastic, that's great. But you're not on the 2 to 3 year plan then. We just have to understand it might take you a little bit longer. That's okay. What if they won't commit to go to the major event? That's great. I'm going to sell them a ticket to the local seminar then. I'm going to do something to try to get them to that next major event, but the local seminar. If they don't buy any tickets, will you ever register them? Sometimes. If I know that they're going to only be a user and a retailer of products and they don't plan on building the business, then I'll say you need to go through your first set of trainings, the NUT, the B5, but you're not really looking to build a big business out of this. And that's how I work with them then. See, what a lot of us do is we bring somebody in who's not looking to build a big business, and then we work with them like we think they want to be the next James Quo, or they want to be the next Joanne. They don't want that right then. So this tells you how to work with people, which is very, very important. If you're uncomfortable doing it before the registration, you can do it right after you do the registration. I just like to do it before because I know I'm in control still at that point. So that takes us through all the different things with that. I want to develop a retail base, as I talked about with our new business partners. I want them to start transferring out things they buy. And I tell them, I say, every week I want you to find a couple items that you run out of that you were buying, and let's transfer it to our business. It's funny because a lot of times people on the team think we have a standing weekly order they're supposed to do. And it's not that they have to do a weekly order, but when they're new, they should be replacing a couple products every week. They should be generating some customer sales. I want to teach them how to invite potential customers through their shop.com portal. How, as you guys get Shop Buddy, how to use Shop Buddy, how to download that and take the time with them. We've talked yesterday a lot about developing that names list. If they have not done that, I'm going to do it with them now. But you have to take the time to do that. I'm going to follow up with them on their unfranchised business account, how to place an order. A lot of times, I will help somebody set up that website right when I do the registration. They get an email. I tell them to look for the email, because where does the email go a lot of times? It goes to like junk or spam mail, right? So I'll say, let's pull the email up. They pull it up. Let's go in there, and they can set up that web account, their shop.com account, right away. I want them to see the review and training section in shop.com. I want to take them through and say, okay, let's start to book appointments right now with your top 10. Because every day I let them go out on their own, someone's going to... One of the biggest things in the world, I call them dream stealers, are people who are going to tell you you're going to fail, people are going to tell you it won't work, people are going to say, why are you doing this? And people will start to listen if they're not having some positive things occurring. So we want to get them doing the positive things fast. What do you do? What is it? Your reason why, and writing that out. If we do those things, we are going to have somebody who moves quickly in the business. If we have somebody who moves quickly, JR always used to call it this: you want to get them in deeper than they can get out. Because what he means, right? Am I right, Vicki? He always said what he means is someone who moves fast in the beginning will have teammates right away to be able to build the business. Now they're worried about learning how to do it right because they've brought in people they care about, so they'll take the time to learn and do it. Something I saw that was really like magic. As soon as I can get them to get some other people involved, they become more serious about helping people the right way. Of course, we talked about call workshops and three-way calls as well. So here's the question it becomes: Are you mentally tough enough as we go through all this? That covered a lot of follow-up, but now we know what happens in the business. Why do we have an event every 6 months? Because we go up, we go down, we go up, we go down, we go up, we go... Until you start making that regular money, then things don't affect you as much. Use the GMTSS to teach, train, and most importantly, to retain. I'm going to tell you, people who use our products, make money retailing our products, and attend GMTSS events, never leave. Never. I'm doing this 21 years. I got some of the same people I started with 21 years ago in the business. And that just means attending your events. Going, learning. You guys are great at this. I'm talking to the right crowd here today. You're taking notes, you're taking pictures, you're writing stuff down. You see me at a local seminar, I am sitting in one of the first 2 rows. I don't sit in the back because I'm corporate. I'm taking notes. I'm listening, because that's what you do. You continue to grow and learn. And we've got that through our district conventions, our international conventions, our world conferences, our NUOT, B5, ECCT, our product trainings, and all the things, we have that you have locally to be able to work with. I want to spend a little time today on consistency and leadership as well, because I think that becomes a big part of how we grow our business. In our business, you can't start and stop. It has to become a regular, I'm going to show up. It's funny, January 1st is always, the month of January is my favorite month in Market America. Because what happens every January is I get to see all the people I haven't seen in a year at a meeting. Because they make a New Year's resolution and they say, you know what, I am going to tear it up in 2018. And January, I'll see them at a UBP. I might even see them at a local seminar. And they're saying, I'm going to tear it up, Jim. This is going to be my year. I'm going to make big things happen. And then the next time I'll see them? January 2019. And they'll say, life got in the way, things got tough, I lost my job, my daughter got sick. They'll give me every excuse for whatever happened, and I'll just smile, and they'll say, this year, 2019, I'm going to tear it up. And in my mind, I'm saying, I'll see you in 2020. Because that's what some people stop and start, and they wonder, why aren't I getting to where I need to be? You just have to stay consistent. There'll be times we talk about go now on franchise owners. We talk about stable on franchise owners, and we talk about waiting. We're all going to fit into one of those categories at some point. Sometimes you're go now. Go now means you're doing everything. You're doing it right. You're working hard. Stable and waiting means you love the business, but you're not really building hard. But you're stable. You use the products. You retail. You enjoy it. Waiting means you're sort of waiting for something to happen to spark you. Okay? All of them are great, so don't worry about it, but you need to stay consistent. Give it your all for 2 to 3 years and do it right, and watch what happens with this business. It'll be a lot of fun. It does take commitment and discipline. Discipline is doing what you don't want to do, isn't it? So when I left, I've been traveling for 21 days now. And when I left, May Rong, who was up here in the beginning, she said, I'm going to do 100 push-ups a day while we're traveling. Because she said, I want to make sure if nothing else, I get that done. I said, all right, I'm going to do that. So for 21 days, I've done a minimum of 100 push-ups. Then I said, okay, I'm going to walk 10,000 steps a day for 21 days. Now, there's been nights, I have been in my hotel room at like 11:30 at night, and I'm like this. I've got a Fitbit on, and I'm hitting it, and I'm going, come on. And I'm getting my 10,000 steps in. Then I'm getting down on the ground. I'm popping my push-ups. I'm like, all right, now I can go to bed. But it's 21 days later. You know what? I feel great because you eat too much when you travel. You don't get to stay. It was a discipline. It's no different than the business. Create a discipline. What am I going to do? You guys thought I was going to get down and pump some push-ups, didn't you? All right, if I pump some push-ups, will you make some calls? Add 2 possibilities a day, call 1 a day, show 1 business plan. If you track this, just like I tracked my walking, just like I tracked my push-ups, if you track this, your business will grow. Because there's no way you can fail when you do the work. This is what I've always said. If you do the work, you're going to make money, you're going to succeed, and you're going to have fun doing it. Show me your routines, your habits, and your rituals, and I'll show you your future. Okay? Show me your routines, your habits, your rituals. What does that mean? It means, what do you do when you wake up in the morning? It means, what do you do when it's time to go to those meetings? What do you do in terms of making phone calls? I've said add 2, call 1, show 1, plan 50 times in 2 days. Because I'm trying to get that into our heads that that's going to be part of our discipline. To be successful, you have to do something every day. It doesn't have to be huge amounts, but you have to do something every day on a regular basis. People will question when they're going to do it. Some of you have taken the time to be here, but you're still thinking, Jim doesn't understand. You know, timing's not right in my life right now. I'm so busy. I've got 3 kids. You know, I'm working a ton of hours at my job. I make good money. I like the business, but it's just not the right time for me now. You know, my neighbor, my spouse is negative about the business. They don't like it. There's got to be something I can do that maybe is different. The economy's doing great right now, so I'm doing well at work. You know, these are the same things I have heard for 21 years from people. Right, Nina? You've heard the same thing. And here's what the deal is. The timing's never going to be right in your life. If you're one of those people who always is saying the timing's wrong, you got to change this, because there'll always be something that will cause a problem. I've always said this is a business of inconvenience, meaning you need to be inconvenient for a while because it's easier not to talk to people. People never understand this, but I am not an extrovert. I'm an introvert more so. If I go out to dinner with my wife and her family, here's what she tells me before we go out. Remember to talk to people tonight. Because I'm real happy just sitting there and listening to things. She comes from a very extrovert. I said, honey, I'm polite, I'm nice. She goes, yeah, but my family's really extroverted and you're just smiling all the time. And I said, well, they talk so much, they don't need to hear me, right? But, you know, it's easier not to. It's easier not to listen to audios. It's easier to do something different. It's easier to listen to music. It's easier not to write a goal statement because then you never fail to hit it if you don't write it. It's easier not to make phone calls because nobody can tell you no if you never call them. It's easier not to come to the seminars. Stay home. Beautiful day in Hong Kong today. I'm so proud of you guys for being here because, man, it is beautiful out there. It's easier to miss the UBPs. You know, and it's funny, once you miss one, it becomes a habit to miss more. That's why I never let myself miss. It's easier to watch TV. It's actually easier to be broke short term, than it is to make money. So it's sort of inconvenient what we do in the beginning. But let me ask you a question. Have you ever met anyone who became wealthy who didn't do something that wasn't inconvenient for a period of time? Every person I've ever met of great wealth did things that were inconvenient for a period of time that led to a future of convenience. And that's what we're talking about right here. Do the things that are inconvenient for 2 to 3 years to be convenient for the rest of you. You know what's convenient? To be traveling for 21 days and on Thursday get my notification that my commission check is going in my bank account on Friday when I've been gone 21. That's really convenient from a building standpoint. Because, man, and if you don't understand what I'm saying, do this for me. Just tomorrow, leave for 21 days and don't go to work. And see if they put your salary in your bank account 21 days from now. I'm going to bet they're not going to unless you've scheduled vacation. Would you agree with that? So we've talked a lot about the basics, and Mark really hit home on some of the great things. You're going to love his presentation coming up. We've talked about the shopping annuity. We have to stay focused on these result. I call them RPAs, result producing activities. Show the plan, use and share the products, sell the tickets, build in small groups, build in the homes, become a shopping annuity master member, and become a master unfranchised owner. That's the roadblock of what we're doing. Everything else is just going to get us there faster. One of the things I use to keep myself accountable, I've just got a sheet I use, and it says it goes Saturday through Friday. Why does it start on Saturday? Because when do our work weeks start with our business? They actually go Saturday through Friday. It says, did I listen or watch an audio or a video today? So my goal is always to get one in a day. Not too hard. I can do it while I'm working out. I can watch something while I'm doing other things. Read 10 to 20 minutes. I love to read a little bit every day to keep my mind fresh. Read my goal statement 2 times per day. I've got my goal statement laminated, so when I carry it with me, I can just pull it out and read it at any time. Sell one product per week to a new customer. Don't always hit that one, but it gives me a goal to make sure I'm going through my possibility list to look for new customers as well as new business partners. Order from a shop.com partner store. Lisa and I have made it our mission. You guys, I got to tell you, I am so impressed with what you have in Hong Kong. It'd be easy to order from a partner store every week, let alone a shop local store you could just go to. We were driving home last night and we were picking off shop local stores we were seeing on the way home that you can just go into and do it. But we make it a habit. We don't want to spend money anywhere but through our business. When we spend money somewhere else, it feels wrong. So we really focus on being able to do that. Add 2 names. Did you add 2 names? So you know what I do? Again, just like doing the push-ups at 11 o'clock at night, just like walking around my hotel room. 11 o'clock at night, I don't have my 2 names down. I get on Facebook. I start looking for people that I don't have on my list that I have some contact with. And all I do is add the names. Doesn't mean I'm going to contact them tomorrow. It just means I'm expanding my possibility list. Call one a day. One person a day. Here's my recommendation. Do it as early in the day as you can. Make your call as fast as you can in the day so it's done. It's like anything else. Why did I work out at 8 this morning? I worked out at 8 this morning because it's done then. I don't have to think about it anymore. I don't have to do push-ups in my room tonight. Book one appointment. Make sure you show one plan a week. Well, I'm going to try to book 2 plans because I'm going to plan on one canceling. It happens so that I show at least one. Follow up with one product customer, one product or one business partner per week. Now, everything I've said, how many hours do you think that would add up to, by the way? If we took this, Ted, if we took this and we said, okay, if we do all this, how many hours do you think this would add up to? So let's do it for a second. Listen, watch audio or video. So I'm doing that while I'm doing other things. Okay? Listening to, working out. Read 10 to 20 minutes. Goal statements. Take no time to read. Selling a product per week, I'd have to meet with a customer, probably talk to them a little bit. Following up with somebody would take a little time. Showing a plan would take some time. Making some phone calls would take some time. Attend 1 to 2 meetings per week. That would take some time. What I'm going through here is less than 10 to 15 hours per week. Now, if you did this in 10 to 15 hours per week, you'd say, well, that's not a lot. What if you had 100 people doing this? What if you had 1,000? See, everything I'm talking about, don't focus on you. Focus on, can I get a team to do it? And if it's simple and duplicatable, you can get a team to do it. If you get a team to do it, you're going to generate mass amounts of wealth by doing that. You're going to help a lot of other people become successful by doing exactly what I'm talking to you about. You know the number one reason people don't succeed? They come up with excuses. Because some of you are already thinking, oh, that sounds good, but. Okay, no buts in this room, okay? We're going to get rid of our buts because the number 2 reason people don't succeed, it's very important. You might want to write this one down. They come up with more excuses. You know what the number 3 reason people don't succeed? What? Constant excuses. All right? They come up with constant excuses. So we got to get rid of the excuses. If you hear yourself make one, just be like, cancel. Cancel. I was, one of my business partners was talking to me. She read a book, and I can't remember, and Lauren talked about it too. I can't remember the name of it right now. But it really came down to making a decision. It's like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And ever since I've heard that, whenever I'm thinking about something, I just go to myself, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. If I'm supposed to make my phone call and I'm hesitating, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, make the phone call. If I'm supposed to do something that I'm hesitating on, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Make the decision to do the right things. Eliminate the negatives. There's some great books you can read. And the best thing about books or audios is we can buy them right through our site, can't we? And get paid for them through some of our partner stores and get paid for buying those. But these are just a few of the ones I like. I love Failing Forward by John Maxwell because he says the only way to succeed is to fail over and over again. But if you don't take action, it actually causes the cycle to have problems. Robert Kiyosaki, great. There's many of these are outstanding, but just some different ones that I've liked as I've listened to different things. So we're here and it's all great. We're surrounded with our friends, we're business partners, and we're like fired up. We walk out of here, we're going to tear this thing up. And then we get home and we're not around everybody for a week or two. And all of a sudden doubts start to creep in. Life got busy. Jim made it sound like it was so easy to just make a call a day, and I haven't done it. Someone on our team quits. They say, and they probably aren't going to be here. If they're the ones who weren't here. Says, it's costing me money. It's not for me. I always laugh. I say, what's costing you money is your laziness. Because you haven't done anything. Because you're not moving any products. That costs you money. People start to question themselves. They say, what if it doesn't work for me? What if this doesn't work for me? My people don't listen. Nobody listens to me. My people don't do anything. It's not going fast. Has anyone ever felt this way in the business? Because I know you have, because I have. It's like, what is going on? You have two choices at that point. You can pick a path that's going to take you to success. You can pick a path that'll take you to failure. And I've seen both of them. And I've seen people of equal talent. One that ends up out of the business, one that ends up in the $1 Million Club. The only difference is the decision they made at this point. And that decision, some people are going to decide to take a break. They'll slow down. Excuse me. They'll start hanging around negative people. You know why they hang around negative people? Because it supports their decision to not do anything. They stop attending the trainings and the meetings. They start making excuses. And they settle for a life they don't want. 10 years from now, they are telling everybody, they're still complaining. They're saying, I could never get a break in my life. This is what I run into these people all the time. People who started with me 21 years ago, but then they quit after 6 months because it was too hard. And now 21 years, I'll run into them, and they're talking about how they're downsizing everything down, and they could never get a break in their life. And I'm thinking, you had the same break I had. Difference was I took action, and you didn't. That's all it was. See, the company has never failed. In my mind, the company has never failed anyone. The only thing that's ever failed is we've failed if we haven't gone after it the way we want to. So some people will renew their commitment. They'll decide to try twice as hard. So they make the opposite decision. They say, you know what? I'm just a step away. Just around the corner, something great is going to happen. They'll read better books, listen to better audio tapes. They'll commit to doing these simple, result-producing activities. They'll hang around only positive people. In fact, they will eliminate negative people out of their life. I got to tell you, one of the things that happens is the longer you're in this business, the less you like being around negative people. Because they become irritating to you. Because they're complaining about life, you're changing your life. They attend every training and meeting because they now are around people they want to be around. They decide, you know what, I'm never going to give up. When you make the decision you're going to succeed at this, that's when you will succeed. Because when you make the decision, there's nothing that can stop you with this. They'll take constructive criticism. They'll ask their coaches and mentors, what can I do better? What can I do to grow better? They'll measure, monitor, and change. So if something's not working the way they want it, they'll monitor it. They'll change. They'll take personal responsibility, which to me is one of the most important things in society today. Don't blame it on the government. Don't blame it on somebody else. I hear in our business, you know what people blame it on? They blame it on their sponsor or their team. That just cracks me up. My sponsor got kicked out of the business. My team, most of them had problems. From me down is where it starts. I looked and said, I want to be the sponsor I didn't have. I want to create the team culture that I didn't have. Because everything else is in place to do it, and that's what you can do. Work harder, care deeper, help more people, strive instead of settle. And you know what's funny? 10 years from now, they'll live the life they dreamed of. And everyone will still say they got lucky. Remember that person I told you started with me 21 years ago, quit after 6 months? I ran into her a year ago. We were at a party, and she said, well, what do you do for a living now? And I said, well, remember when we were in Market America? I said, I've been doing it for 21 years. That's all we do. And she said, you're talking about that thing we were doing 21 years ago? And I'm like, yeah. She says, man, you are lucky you stuck with that. And I thought to myself, there's no luck involved at all. All it was consistency, routines, and determination. That's all it is, guys. And you can do that. You know, your long-term income will be determined by the example you set and the things that you do. As we talk about leadership and we build our business out and we're growing a big team, that's what it's going to come out to be. And Mark touched on some gaming issues we've had as a company, dealing with people selling on auction websites and what we're doing to attack it. And I got to tell you, I got to give JR, Lauren Reidinger, Mark Ashley, Michael Brady, all the executives on the team. We have gone after this as hard as we can go after it because it matters to you. The people who are doing this wrong affect your business. And you should be very proud of your company that we're taking care of these different things. But I want to make sure you're aware of some of them. You know, we can't sell into countries we're not authorized to sell into except for through global. Make sure you're doing it through global if you're doing that. One of the big things that all of us need to be aware of is we can't go into other people's back offices and do their Form 1000s. We can't do their orders for them. That's manipulating the pay plan because we're then not having them do what they're supposed to do to be an unfranchised owner. So you want to make sure you're taking the time to teach your people. You're reaching out to them ahead of time and showing them how to do it, but having them do it from their back office, not from your back office. Everybody understands that, right? I just want to make sure we're really, really clear on that. And the companies put things in place. I mean, basically, if somebody goes into somebody else's back office, it's almost like a video capture that shows that if I went into James' back office and then I got out of there and I went into Nina's back office, the video capture is going to show me doing both of those. So it's something you don't want to play with and you don't want to do. It hurts us from a business building standpoint, and people don't understand they're hurting their own business who do this. And I'll tell you why. Because if I have one person there and I just try to keep them alive, basically that's what you're doing, right? You're just keeping them by doing their Form 1000, you're doing that. Well, if I'm doing that, I'm still active on that business. But what it really does mentally is it says I don't need to recruit on that business. So what should I be doing? I should be out sponsoring a new person below it. And if I'm sponsoring a new person below it, I don't worry about the person who's not really doing the business. So it stops your own recruiting, which will cost you large amounts of money long term. So again, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, don't do it again. Got it? Focus on building below, focus on building in depth. And we have management responsibilities as business owners. It's called the Management Performance Compensation Plan. It's not called the let my team do whatever they want compensation plan. So what does that mean? It means if we see anything weird, we need to correct our teammates. We need to step in and support them on what to do correctly and what to stop doing incorrectly. I have told my team without a doubt, you stay out of other people's back offices. I have told my team, if you hear of anybody selling on a website of any kind, in the U.S. it would be eBay, Amazon, anything like that, you are to report it to me directly. Because if you don't, you're as guilty as the person doing it that you're getting the volume from. Because that volume's coming up. So we're going to get rid of them. Thank you for that one clap. We're going to protect our brand, and we're going to protect our unfranchised business. Because here's what happens if we don't. What was happening in the United States, and I don't know if it was happening here or not, you could tell me, but as these auction sites became more and more prevalent, all of a sudden we were struggling to retail the way we should. And I've believed from day one this is a retail-driven business. And you make money from retailing our exclusive products. And that money helps fund your business as well. So we were running into problems with that. We were running into problems with recruiting because people were saying, how can I build a business if everybody's selling their product on websites like that? And then it was demotivating unfranchised owners in other organizations. Like somebody would rise very quickly, they're probably out of the company, but they rose quickly and someone said, I'm working so hard. Why isn't it working right? So we had to go after this and we had to talk to these people and take care of this. But here's one thing I want to tell you. It's not the first time in 21 years we've dealt with issues. It won't be the last time because we deal with people. But one of the things I can tell you, how you handle things will make a big difference on everything. So you want to be a leader and you want to encourage the team to do the right things. You want to lead by example. Show your team the right way to do things so that as you're building a business, what is happening is you're building a long-term, residual, ongoing business through your leadership. And don't be a boss to people. People already have one boss they don't like. Don't be the second one. Be a servant leader. And what I mean by a servant leader is you work for them. I always tell somebody when I bring them in the business, they're like, well, will I be when people don't understand our business, they say, will I be working for you? I say, no, here's how it's going to work. If you decide to partner with me, I work for you. So that's servant leadership. You're helping them. You're showing them by doing the activities that back up what you told them it would. Remember, you don't manage people. You lead people and you manage things. Again, you lead people and you manage things. How do you become a great leader or income earner? By doing the things you expect your group to do. I could take anyone in this room who says, well, I'm not where I want to be, and I could say, okay, where are you struggling with in your group? And I'll bet you the one thing they're struggling on is the thing they don't do enough of. My group doesn't buy enough tickets. Are you the first in line to buy tickets? If you're not doing it right. My group doesn't retail enough. I wasn't a good retailer. I told you this story earlier. I was not a good retailer early on. So guess what? My group wasn't a good retailing group. I know retailing provides consistent business. So I learned how to retail. Guess what happened after I became a good retailer? Amazing. My group became a good retailing group. Well, some of you are saying, well, I'm not good at recruiting. My group's not good at recruiting. How many people have you sponsored into the business in the last year or two? So you have to be the person who does the thing you expect your group to do. Leaders do not create followers. They create new leaders. A leader is someone who demonstrates what's possible. What I want you to do, I want you to bring up other people on the team. I want you to get them to be as successful or more successful than you. That is my goal everywhere I go. We were at dinner last night. We spent about half an hour talking about who are the next group of leaders that are going to come up in the organizations. Where are they going to come from? Because that's what we're all looking for. It's what I look for in my own group. It's what I look for in countries. It's what we look for corporately. Because that's how you continue that business continuing to grow the way you want it to. Leaders work with people at the level they're at. Meaning, if they're a go now, they work with them like a go now. If there's someone who's stable, they work with them like they're stable. But they treat everybody good. Okay, I really want you to understand this. Do not beat up or make the people who don't do as much as you feel bad. If you do, you will lose them from your organization. Instead, you want to love them. You want to treat them good, but you want to work hard with the people who want to build fast. Have good listening skills. Have empathy, meaning you understand. It doesn't mean you agree, but it means you understand. Have good problem-solving skills. I hear you and understand, but what can we do to make this work for you? By the way, if you think you have problems or issues or things going on, congratulations. The people with the most problems make the most money because you end up solving them, and that's the way the world works. Be caring. Have integrity. Always be learning and lead by example, again, by doing what you need to do. What are the benefits? What are the benefits of growing this business? I know there's some new people in here. You're still trying to figure it out, but the leaders could tell you the benefits. Here's what they are. More friends than you'll ever have in your life. I mean, I can go now. I got 4 new countries I can go to, and I have a whole bunch of friends I could call up and say, hey, I'm here. Let's do something together. When I got married 14 years ago, and Lisa and I got married, 31 of the 33 people in our wedding were fellow business partners in Market America. The two who weren't were guests of one of my best friends who joined the business 2 months later. You will make great, we call it family. You'll have a lot of friends and family together, more family. You'll have better health. I see people who have taken our products now 10, 15, 20 years. They look so much better than people who don't. So how about good health? Because you know, all the money in the world doesn't matter if you don't take care of yourself. And that is something you need to be very serious about. They have a sense of purpose. They know where they're going. They have options in life. Because they can make a difference. I think the worst thing in the world is when you have a job and you know you're going to get a % pay raise. And it's going to be between 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it is. And that's what it's going to be. How can you be happy? Oh, I got 3%. I'm so ecstatic. What, are you a 3%er or are you a 100%er? I'd rather double my income. I'd rather do more. Personal growth. You'll become more than you are now. I've always said to make more, you have to become more in this business. What I will tell you is that it's worth it. And that what every leader in this room would tell you is the part that we call the work, the meeting with the people, the building with the team, the home meetings, all the stuff like that, when you look back 5 years later, 7 years later, 10 years later, you're going to say, that was the most fun I've ever had in my life. Am I right, Vicki? And you're going to say, that was such a blast, all the things we were doing, yet it sets you up for the rest of your life. Guys, it's worth it. It really is. I'm going to touch on ABC pattern in 2-3 minutes here because I do want you to know this because everybody gets confused by this. And here's what ABC pattern is. ABC pattern is moving from person to person to person. That's all it is. When I went to my first leadership school, Elizabeth Weber said, you need to build in the homes. I came home. I had 20 people in my organization. I booked 19 home meetings. So if I started a meeting with Anthony, and by the way, that was 19 in like 3 weeks. I was working part-time every night I could. So if I did one for Anthony, he had 4 or 5 people there. Vicki was at Anthony. She said, I want to get started. Then we moved to Vicki's house. And Anthony came with me, and I had Anthony do a small part of it. And then maybe Nina was at Vicki's. Then I moved to Nina's house. It doesn't mean you went to every person in exact order. It just meant we went from house to house to house. And what happened is we brought people with us. And because now I'm working with Nina and I'm continuing to work down the line, now Anthony, I'm working with the people at the bottom of Anthony's organization. I'm getting to know them. If I can give you one tip this weekend, always know the people at the bottom of your organization, no matter how big you get. That will always protect and support what you're working with. Because when the people at the bottom get fired up, they do more. I've always believed if you know how to do an ABC pattern, which is just moving from person to person to person, you will always be able to control your success, your growth, your progress, and your timing. You know why I move so fast? We did a leadership meeting, and somebody said, well, how did you move so fast that first year? Because I controlled it. 19 meetings probably turned into 59 meetings. And then it turned into my team doing meetings because I was unavailable on other nights. And then it turned to, think if you had 2 small group meetings going on every week in your organization in each business. How would you be doing? You'd be doing pretty good, right? And that's just 2. It's not that many to be able to do it. What are some of our ongoing steps? Use and share the products. Maintain a minimum of 10 customers, ordering at least 30 BV and 20 IBV. Show the business plan twice a week. I've been talking about once a week. I made it easy on you guys. Continue to work in the homes through that ABC pattern. Personally sponsor 2 business partners per quarter, which would put us on the Master UFO. Achieve the Master UFO program quarterly. Attend a minimum of 1 training per month, some kind of training. So good, we're done with May. We're solid right now. We got May done, we're here. Attend the Market Hong Kong Annual Convention and Leadership School, which I know you're doing. Duplicate success by buying and selling tickets to your current new team. Has anybody texted team members and sold tickets to them for the next event? Anybody done that? Oh, good. I've got 2 coachable people, 4. All right. Remember what I said? Text somebody on your team who's not here and say, hey, I'm worried this is going to sell out. I can pick it up for you if you want me to, but I want you to get tickets for that event before it's gone. As your business grows, continue to communicate and work with your team. Here's what I'm going to leave you with. Lead by example. You must succeed so that other people can realize their dreams. The truth of it is right here in Market Hong Kong, every person who grows is going to bring a whole bunch of people with them. Not just on their team, but other people who will see it. So you need to be that person that does that to lead this next generation we're going to come with. I have loved my time with you guys. I hope I was able to give you some things that have been helpful. You're a great audience too, by the way. Appreciate everything you did. Love you very much. Look forward to coming back when it's 3 times this size. All right, take care.